Hi there, it's Debbie from celestialastrologyhealing.co.uk, and today I'd like to say happy new moon in Taurus, which happens today, Friday the 19th of May at 15:52 GMT here in the UK. I'm in Scotland. So the new moon happens every 2 weeks throughout the signs of the zodiac, and it's when the sun and the moon are conjunct at the same degree and minute of the 30 degrees of each whole sign house. So at this time, we have the sun and the moon, the masculine and feminine principles together conjoined to allow an opportunity for implementing new seeds, of initiating new ideas, planting new seeds to bring into our lives for the next future. So it could be in 2 weeks, the cycle of when we come to full moon, or it could be when the moon is full in Taurus, which will be Scorpio time of the year. So this particular new moon is at 28 degrees Taurus, 25 minutes, and it occurs with a stellium of other planets in Taurus, which I'll go into and show you a chart. We have Jupiter at 0 degrees Taurus, 40 minutes, just ingressed into Taurus on the 16th of May, and Jupiter spends a whole year in the sign of the zodiac. So this is going to be a really big shift and change after moving out of Aries. So every year, Jupiter takes 12 years to circle. So when we have Jupiter returns, it's when we're 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, going right through, if you're good at maths. So Jupiter will be in this sign of Taurus until the 26th of May 2024. So wherever this Taurian house is for you, there could be opportunities for expansion, growth, good fortune, travel, implementing some sense of learning more, all these things that Jupiter can bring. We also have Rahu, the north node of the moon, at 2 degrees Taurus, 51 minutes. And Mercury is at 6 degrees Taurus, 37 minutes. And Mercury was retrograde, but has station direct on the 16th of May at 3:30 a.m. GMT. And we also have Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees Taurus, 30 minutes. So Uranus has been there for quite a long time, being an outer planet moving very slowly, whereas the more personal planets move quicker, such as the luminary moon changes sign every 2.5 days. The sun moves a degree a day through the month. We've got Mercury moves very fast usually, and Venus and Mars, and then Jupiter. As we go further out, they move slower. So let me just bring up a chart, perhaps, showing the planetary positions at this new moon. So here you can see the chart of the new moon today. It shows where I am in Scotland, in Alethan, at 15:52 on the 19th of May 2023. And if I can just highlight some of the, this is always a challenge for me working out this annotate tool, but here we go. Massive stellium here in Taurus going on, and I'll go into that. And we also have Mars at the anaretic degree of Cancer at 29 degrees Cancer, 26 minutes, and I'll go into an aspect that Mars will be making with Pluto tomorrow. We can also see Saturn here moved into Pisces on the 7th of March. And here we have Pluto, which moved into Aquarius briefly. He'll be here. He's retrograde at the moment, and he's going to be moving back into Capricorn on the 23rd of March. So lots of circles there. Let me undo a few of them. We were just talking about the stellium here. So at new moon, we've got the sun and the moon at 28 degrees, 25 minutes in Taurus. We have Uranus, as I was saying, 19 degrees, 30 minutes. We have Mercury stationed direct, now moving forward. When Mercury has been, or any other planet has been retrograde and starts moving direct, it stops. And it's a bit like an analogy that I've heard from another astrologer. It's like a big liner in the sea that sort of stops and then to go to a different direction is moving quite slowly initially. So Mercury will be moving direct, moving forward, but moving quite slowly until he or she gathers momentum. Mercury is a psychopomp. Mercury can be masculine or feminine. I suppose Mercury in Taurus is more feminine because Taurus is a feminine sign of the zodiac. It's a fixed earth sign, and all earth and water signs are of the feminine nature. Also, we have the north node of the moon, Rahu, here at 2 degrees 51 minutes, and Jupiter has recently ingressed into Taurus, which is a massive change, which I'm talking about, which will be here for a whole year ahead. So depending on where this Taurian house is in your chart, this will be a really big shift and change after Taurus has moved out of areas Jupiter has moved out of areas where Jupiter's been for the last year. So please, if you like my work and you want to hear more of what I can offer in my sharings of my astrological knowledge, please subscribe, hit the subscribe and like button. This helps my channel to grow, and I'm relatively new at sharing my astrological interpretations. I do readings as well. I love to work with people looking at their own natal chart and the promise of all the planetary placings and how they can be activated during these transits that are in the heavens at this time. So thank you very much for doing that. I've recently given away a free, well, I'm giving it away, I'm working on it at the moment, a free natal chart reading, because I was asking people to subscribe, and once I hit 100 likes, it doesn't sound like many when you think about other astrologers, but as I'm saying, I'm new to this. So yeah, I've now got, I don't know, 120 odd subscribers, which I'm really grateful for. So thank you. Astrology is a great passion of mine. I've been into modern astrology for decades, and recently more ancient astrology, Hellenistic astrology. I studied with Nightlight Astrology for 3 years. I've done the first second year course and recently just completed the horary course, which is about casting a chart for a question to find out the answers through using the planets as oracles. So thank you very much for subscribing to my channel if you can. So let's just go into the influences of Jupiter, the largest planet of the solar system. Jupiter is the god of gods. He is Zeus, and therefore the influences that he can bring to the table are influences of enhancing, expanding, giving hope, opportunities, and luck, with potential reward and recognition in the area of Taurus, wherever that is in your chart. And check below in the comments, there is a free, I've got blogs and videos on my website, and you can cast your own chart using free data. So I'll put the link below, and then you can see, you need your date and time of birth, crucially, to find out your ascendant, and then you can see where the Taurus house is in your chart and where this stellium of planets are at work. So this positive influence of Jupiter is going to be at work for over varying degrees over the next year, dependent on other planetary placings, but is usually quite a positive time, gaining knowledge and good fortune to this Taurian house. But when we think about every single sign of the zodiac or every single planetary placing, there's the positive aspects and there's the negative aspects. You can't have one without the other. There's always the balance. And I suppose the shadow side of Jupiter, because it's about expansion and taking in and enlarging and enjoying, it can be some sense of greed sometimes, or also because Jupiter is about the higher mind, ruling the 9th house of God, learning, knowledge, spirituality. And judgment, it's about law and judges and those solar figures who have power to decide things. We can also sometimes express a sort of judgmental attitude with Jupiter being expanded here. So, you know, being aware of what we are striving to enjoy, because Taurus is very sensual, enjoying pleasures, good things, luxury, comfort, sensuality, security. So Jupiter and Taurus, we need to be aware of what we're taking into our bodies and develop a conscious manner in this. Otherwise, we might be prone to overindulgence, having too much fun and sensuality, driven by lust, you know, which may be detrimental to our lives, you know, not wanting to be too greedy. But this will depend upon other planetary placements in your natal chart. And because Jupiter belongs to the daytime sect in ancient astrology, if you're born during the daylight hours, you're known to be a day sect native. And Jupiter is the greater benefic insect to people born in the daytime. So if you're born during the daytime, when the sun is out, then it's likely that you will benefit more from this Jupiter in Taurus placement than if you're born during the nighttime hours. So that's Jupiter. And now let's talk about Mercury. Let me get my arrow again. Good practice. Here we are. Mercury 6 degrees, Taurus 37 minutes. So Mercury, Hermes, he is the planet god of communications. He's related to travel, technology, offering services as a merchant. And he was direct on the 21st of April, but just stationed, he was retrograde on the 21st of April and stationed direct on the 14th of May. So ideas that were simmering in the background, excuse me, projects that were on the back burner for a few weeks can now, be given some sense of the green light, the go ahead, and begin to move forward with this direct motion of Mercury being direct in Taurus. However, bearing in mind that because Taurus is a, fixed earth sign of the zodiac, movement is likely to be sort of slow and steady rather than plowing ahead, with gusto. Taurus likes to do things in a very practical way, taking time, considering things, doesn't like to be rushed, likes to be sure, sometimes a little bit stubborn to change. When a Taurian person has made up their mind, or somebody with lots of planets in Taurus, they can be very resistant, very, very hard to shift, because Taurus likes to dig the heels in and be sure and stable and, be sure of themselves. So, that it's likely to be a slow and steady movement with Mercury here. So being patient is advisable to implement long-term plans, which may create security for the future. And with Jupiter in Taurus, that's another thing, expanding what we need to feel safe and secure for the future, being comfortable. It's about the food that we can have. It's about gardening. It's about the Earth's resources, and there are quite a lot of destabilizing things going on with the supply of foods worldwide. And that's to do with Uranus in Taurus, which I'll go into now. So Uranus has been in Taurus since the 16th of May 2018 and will remain here until the 25th of April 2026. Let me get my arrow. So 19 degrees, 30 minutes, that's where Uranus is. So Uranus has this very unusual orbit and was discovered in a time in the 1700s when there were lots of innovations and lots of new developments as far as technologies and new ideas. Electricity was developed. It was the Industrial Revolution. So therefore, Uranus represents upheavals, disruptions, inventions, originality, rebellion, and independence and liberation to this Taurian area of our chart. So, there's opportunities here to continue to think differently, think outside the box. And if you have like light bulb moments of inspiration, maybe break a few rules, break the mold, follow these independent ideas to bring to the fore. So, the map of the heavens of your personal birth chart will show you where these planetary activities may be stimulating your natal planets at this time. And what I love about astrology is everybody is so unique. It's like having a fingerprint that only you have. And it's a map of the heavens of your potential, where the gods and goddesses, the planets, were seen to bestow gifts and rewards and challenges and difficulties for us to grow and develop. And if we're aware of our own gifts and challenges and difficulties within our lives, we can walk in our power, know our strengths, know where we're likely to have struggle, and then be more conscious to live and be all that we can be, because we're spirit souls in this incarnation, in human bodies, learning, and sometimes learning and challenging experiences through life can be difficult, but, you know, if you're aware of the positive traits that you have as well, you can always dip in, tap into them and bring them out to help navigate more challenging times. And these are big times of change at this time in our general world, you know, uncertainties, destabilizing, the ending of old rule with Pluto moved out of Capricorn, which was very much authority led. You know, we're breaking down structures of this. There's a general awareness that community, people from the grassroots up need to use our power. It needs to be fairer. It needs to be, you know, more spread rather than this great divide of great wealth and those struggling. Then there's a conscious awareness, and we're waking up as human beings, opening our mind to this higher consciousness. So that's more of Pluto in Aquarius, as well as the potential for lots of AI developments and how that might impact us as human beings in the future. Anyway, so I've gone off there on a bit of an angle. Yeah, but what I'd like to talk about at the same time as this new moon in Taurus, we've got Pluto square Jupiter. So let me just undo this and share the chart for that if I can. I need to bring up another. Bear with me. So here is a chart also showing, this was on the 19th of May, so that is today. Sorry, haven't got my glasses. I'm trying to do it without my glasses at the moment, but let me show you the aspect here. An aspect is the angle between planets. In ancient astrology, we take note of the conjunction, the conjoining of planetary energies together. We take note of the square aspects, which are 90 degrees apart. We take note of the 120-degree aspect, which is known as a trine. And we take note of the opposition, which is 180 degrees apart, and also the sextile, which is 60 degrees apart, which looks like a wee star. So let me see. So we're talking about Jupiter in Taurus here being square to Pluto. Where's my little? Yeah, 0 degrees Taurus, 35 minutes, squaring Pluto here. So we go 30, 60, 90. That's your 90-degree angle. And usually we have a 3-degree orb that we would allow. So there's only minutes in it. There's only, what, my maths isn't brilliant, but it's like 18 minutes difference of orb. So when planets are in square, it's the nature of Mars, and the energy of a square. If you think about a square, it's sort of angular, isn't it? It's very blocky. It's like you come across something, horizontal reaches vertical. So there's some challenge or things to overcome here. So Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, 17 minutes retrograde, is square to Jupiter in Taurus. This may bring about challenges which are related to independent expression and how we can create our own personal security in our lives. So Pluto is the god of the underworld. He is Hades. And because he rules what's hidden, it's maybe darker aspects of our shadow self might come simmering to the surface, related to strength and power. There's also treasures beneath the earth, if we think about the jewels and things that can be found in the earth as well. So during this aspect, it's related to our sense of strength and power, and we need to sort of navigate it from a place of balance and self-awareness. Otherwise, there might be sort of some controlling issues that may be brought to the surface here, which may be quite destabilizing to our personal sense of security. And for people that have fixed planets, so let me draw the line of the fixed planets. So fixed Earth is Taurus, always opposite fixed water, which is Scorpio. And fixed fire is Leo, always opposite fixed air, which is Aquarius. So if we have any planets within about a 3 to 4 degree orb of these fixed signs, I know that I do. Can we that circle? Yeah, here we are. So if you have planets at the beginning degrees, maybe 0 to 4 degrees of Taurus, of Leo, of Scorpio, where has it gone? It's gone off the thing there, and of Aquarius, these will be activated by either a square, a conjunction, or an opposition. So, for example, if you have planets at the beginning of Aquarius within 4 degrees, 0 to 4 degrees, Pluto will be conjunct and really bringing up profound changes and transformational breakdowns and new ways of thinking. It's about endings, death, and rebirth. If you have planets in the beginning degrees, 0 to 4 degrees of Taurus, there will be a square aspect. Let me draw my line there. So 30, 60, 90, there'll be a square aspect. If you have planets in Leo, which I do, I have my Sun and Jupiter, no, not Sun, I have my Moon and Jupiter conjunct at 2 and 4 degrees Scorpio. So at the moment, I'm feeling that intense energy of the opposition of Pluto opposite my planets here. And if you have planets in the first 0 to 4 degrees of Mars, that again will be a square aspect. So you can see it goes there, goes there, goes there, goes there. There we go. You can sort of see in the angularity of a square or opposition. Oppositions are about tug of war, finding balance there, and there can be harmony if you can reach the fulcrum point. Squares need to be overcome, need to work deeply, need to really dig deep to overcome any challenges there, which you have to work hard when we have square aspects going on. So that's something there. And if I can bring up is this the real-time clock? No. So I'm going to bring up the real-time clock and just show another transit which is just happening or about to happen. Thank you for bearing with me. So this is a chart which I'm about to annotate, and what I'd like you to look at is the position of Mars. We've got lots of changes going on with the planets. So here's Mars at the anaretic degree of Cancer, when a planet's at the very last degree, so it's 29 minutes, 15 Cancer. It's in a sort of quite a tense position because it really wants to be in the next sign and it's not quite in the next sign. So Mars in Cancer, what's been going on while Mars has been here in Cancer, there could be some sort of really heightened sense of protection around family issues and the home, because Mars is the warrior planet and Cancer is ruled by the moon and is related to home and family, roots and ancestry. Mars is known to be in fall in Cancer, so he uses his warrior-like fiery energies to protect, really look after, really come to the fore. And Mars is about conflict. So there could have been some, underlying energies around conflict around the home here. But what I'm hoping to show is Mars moving. I'm going to annotate the chart by moving it forward using my solar fire program. If I can, maybe I can't take that one off. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to annotate one day. Well, on the 21st of May, it's showing that Mars is just moving into Leo here. So this will create a completely different feeling because Leo is a fixed fire sign ruled by the sun. Leo has lots of energy. It's sunny, it's buoyant. It's about creativity, childlike energies, and a great time for joy and fun and maybe involvement with children or taking part in childlike pursuits for ourselves. And Mars will remain here until the 9th of July. So this is a nice energy here. So, but what also happens as Mars moves into Leo, so we have all that potential for the enjoyment and creativity, sunny energies, because Mars is about how we actively approach things and do things. So it's not in the watery sign of Cancer, it's in a fire sign. It's more bold, it's more determined. But at the same time, we have an opposition to Pluto, which I was talking about before, with a square with Jupiter. We've got Mars 0 degrees 23 minutes in an opposition to Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius 16 minutes. So, as I was saying, oppositions can bring about some sort of tug of war nature. There's a need to find a balance point. And because Mars is a warrior, he's a warrior planet who's dynamic and strong. He fights for what he believes in. And because Pluto is Hades, god of the underworld, he can have powerful and controlling energies and intense expressions too. So this opposition is involving two quite archetypally strong planets or gods. And this will last around a week until about the 26th of May. So there may be some intense opportunities for intense pain, pleasure sort of thing, because both of these planets are sort of related to sexuality, power, those sort of things. I've heard an astrologer talk about the pain and pleasure that you can have, as giving birth, for example. There's this sort of intense, almost ecstasy point if you can release into surrendering into the power that is overcoming you. So, but there could also be tears and, pain through, those sort of intense dynamic energies. So it's important, to be aware, conscious of this interaction of these planets in opposition. Be aware of your own part and what you play with others if you have these dynamic energies coming to the surface, or just indeed what's coming up within yourself, because Pluto is about the depths and the darkness and the shadow side, and they could be coming up during this opposition of Mars, activating, energizing, bringing all these things together. So that is another intense potential thing. And let me just move the chart forward. It's already there, actually. So on the same sort of day, the 21st of May, we will have the sun ingressing into Gemini, which is a nice light-hearted sign of the zodiac. It's very airy. It's about communication and interaction and having flirtations and lots of ideas and debates and toing and froing. Oh, that would be interesting. There's a vehicle outside that may be getting picked up by this. I'm not sure. Apparently he's turning right. Okay. Yeah, so the capacity to shift some of the heavier, denser Taurian energies. When the sun was in Taurus, there's a sort of fixedness and a density because it's an earth sign, very grounded. And Gemini is light. It's airy. It's slightly freer. It's very adaptable. So the sun will be here in Gemini, bringing a lightness of spirit, and will stay here until the summer solstice, when the sun moves into Cancer on the 21st of June at 15:22 GMT. So there's lots of energies, planetary weather to navigate during this time ahead. So yeah, I hope you find that helpful. And again, if you like what I offer, please subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. I would need your name, date, place, and crucially, time of birth if you'd like a really accurate natal chart reading. If you don't have your time of birth, we could still work on other things such as your lunar phase, your progressed lunar phase, secondary progressions. We can look at the planets and if they're activating your natal planets, but it's difficult to know which area of life that's at work for you. So thanks for listening. Happy new moon in Taurus. May you plant seeds of positivity, hope, sharing, and compassion for all beings in this time ahead. Bye for now.